Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about 12 signs that you may need more water in the perimenopause and menopause. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. For those that have been with me for a long time, thank you. And you know that I mention practically every single vlog, I will mention about drinking water. So for those of you that are new to all this, you may be wondering why I place so much importance in just drinking water. So the problem is that dehydration can affect just about every single menopause symptom. So I thought today that I would go right back to basics and why something so simple can make such a huge difference. But first of all, I'll talk about the signs that are really quite clear that you're dehydrated or you're not getting enough water. Why does this happen in the perimenopause and the menopause? There's a number of reasons. One of the things that I've discovered through reading a lot and research is that estrogen, when you have plenty of it, helps to keep your body well hydrated. Estrogen, it's a little bit like a sponge, so when it's racing around your body, it's also helping to keep all that lovely water in your cells. It helps to keep you hydrated. So when your estrogen starts to fall, your body's ability to stay hydrated decreases. You may not be aware of it, but your body will soon tell you that it's not really happy. So we're going to look at that aspect, but also other things that happen during the menopause can cause dehydration. If you're getting a lot of flushes and sweats, that will dehydrate you. That will impact on your nervous system, and if your nervous system is having issues, it will trigger lots of histamine or adrenaline, and that can trigger hot flushes and night sweats. So this can become a real vicious cycle. It can also be other things as well. If you're exercising a lot, you can get dehydrated. If you start to get warm weather in the summer and you don't increase your hydration, that can dehydrate you too, impacting on your symptoms. So we're going to have a little look now at the 10 or 12 symptoms that can indicate that you are not drinking enough water. So the first one is your urine. If your urine looks really dark, if it starts to smell as well, that's the number one signal that your body's telling you that it's dehydrated. Healthy urine should be very, very pale and should have little or no odour at all. Number two is trips to the toilet. It's one of these weird things. When you drink less, you may end up going to the toilet more. What happens here is, as you get more and more dehydrated, that dark, smelly urine is becoming very acidic, and it just starts to irritate your bladder. And it can get to the point where your bladder can become quite raw and give you symptoms such as cystitis without any infection present. When that happens, this really strong urine will just keep irritating your bladder. You will very often get a real urge to go to the toilet very quickly. You will go and you'll only pass a little bit of urine. And this is a standard scenario during the night. Very often, a lot of women have to get up 2 or 3 times during the night to go to the toilet. And when they go, they pass very little urine. It can sometimes be a little bit stingy, and it's just purely dehydration during the night. So number 3, as I mentioned before, flushes and sweats can cause this vicious cycle. So the more flushes and sweats you have, the more pressure on your nervous system and the more flushes and sweats you will end up experiencing. Number 4 is feeling tired and lethargic. If you're dehydrated, your body just won't want to move. Number 5, this is a carry-on from being tired and lethargic. It's that brain fog and concentration. And I bet there's a lot of you out there that will get the brain fog and loss of concentration at the same time every day. That's a classic dehydration or sometimes low blood sugar level signal. So your body is just dehydrated. Your brain, it's full of water. Your brain, again, is like a sponge. It needs lots of water. And they've actually shown that if you get dehydrated, your brain shrinks. So, this is a really important thing to know here. You might find that you get headaches. So remember, if your brain is physically shrinking, you're going to get those tension headaches or even thumping headaches as well. Palpitations, again, can be due to dehydration. So if you are getting the palpitations at the same time every day, which often happens in this kind of situation, then again, it just means that you've probably gone too long without that drink of water. It can be a dry throat or a dry mouth. This is really common first thing in the morning. A lot of women will tell me that they feel as if their tongue is stuck to the roof of their mouth. And again, it's just because, especially if you have night sweats, you're just thoroughly dehydrated by the time that you wake up. It could also be constipation. Remember, your digestive tract needs lots of water in order to process and eliminate all the food that you're eating. And if you're dehydrated, everything just slows down and literally just sticks. It can be joint pain. It can be cramps. But the other great signal of dehydration is low back pain. So if you're getting a lot of back pain on both sides of the spine on a regular basis, that's very often your kidneys just complaining that they are feeling the dehydration as well. Number 11 is your mood. If you find you're getting a low mood, if you find you're getting irritable, if you find that you're getting angry, sometimes a glass of water can fix it. And number 12 is, they do say that thirst and hunger can be difficult to distinguish between the two. So very often, if you are starting to feel really hungry, if you're getting sugar cravings, then very often it's just that you are dehydrated and your body's wanting water and not food. So the simple tips, how do you deal with this? Water's boring. I would far rather have a nice cup of tea or something else to drink than a glass of plain water. But it really needs to be the plain water to get the best benefit from it. You need at least 1.5 litres to 2 litres a day. I'm quite small, so I can probably get away with about 1.5 litres. You can put natural flavouring, so please, not those flavoured waters that you get at the supermarket, not these chemically filled squashies, not your fizzy drinks or your tea or your coffee, your plain water, but you can flavour it with things like berries. I find a couple of frozen strawberries or raspberries or bilberries put in the water gives it a really nice flavour. You can squeeze in a little bit of lemon and lime or orange juice. You can put mint leaves or cucumber or grated ginger, just a little bit of something natural to flavour the water to make it taste nicer. So for me, the first thing I do when I get up in the morning and I go into my kitchen, the first thing, I'll have a really big tumbler about this size full of water. I always have it warm because I don't think my body likes something really cold first thing. So you want to gently wake your body up, not shock it. So a nice glass of warm water will start to get things going, and your body will really thank you for that, because if it's been dehydrated during the night, that first glass is going to be taken up just with getting everything back to normal. You can sip the water during the day. You can have big glasses on a regular basis. Some people find that sipping it through a straw makes it easier than drinking it. I know it took me quite a long time to get used to taking big quantities of water in a go. So I tended to do it slowly for quite a long time before I was used to it. You can get these apps on your smartphones now that will remind you every few hours to have a drink of water, and you just tick them off as you drink them, and that will give you a good idea of how much water you've drunk during the day. Add plenty of water-rich foods to your diet. So that's things like cucumbers, salads, watermelon and fruits as well that contain lots of water. Don't drink just before you eat, and don't drink whilst you're eating. This is a big mistake that a lot of people make. Your digestion can already be compromised when your hormones start to fall. So the last thing you want to do is to dilute your gastric juices as you're eating. So have your last drink half an hour before you eat. If you have to drink whilst you're eating, just very little. I find it really hard now. You know, I couldn't sit and drink a cup of tea or a full glass of water whilst I'm eating. I'm so used to not doing that now that I find it really quite strange. But you just need to wait half an hour after you've finished eating, and then you can start the water up again. And the other thing that I always do, and a lot of women come back to me and say it really helps, is just a small shot glass of warm water just before bed. This is going to be enough to hydrate you. It's great if you wake up in the morning with really sore joints. It's great if you wake up with anxiety or headaches first thing in the morning, because these are all caused by dehydration. Is just have that shot glass of warm water. It also helps to keep your bladder and urine from getting really acidic and irritated. So I hope you found this one helpful. It's a little bit of revision for a lot of you out there, but it's such an important one. And the number of women who come back to me and are just so astonished at how something so simple can make them feel so much better. I just absolutely love it. So if you have any tips on how water has helped you, or how do you drink your water, then please share it with us. We'd love to hear about it. And until then, I will see you next week for another edition of A. Vogel Talks Menopause.